Good morning, everybody, and I say that because it is about 1:30 in the AM. I'm kind of a nocturnal person. I've just been up doing some laundry and some cleaning around the apartment, so yay. It's okay to live at night. I do. Why not? Okay, so yeah, welcome to Shreveport Bossier. Come check us out. Lots of fun things to do. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be out of town for the uh, um, Gumbo Gladiators. It is a festival that we do every year here, and everybody who wants to participate brings their wonderful gumbos, and it's a good money for a charity raise and everything. I um, typically all the restaurants and everything is great. It's wonderful. I go there just about every year. I'm gonna miss it this year because I'm gonna be out of town. I'm gonna be in Florida. I hate it. Well, I don't hate that I'm gonna be in Florida, but I hate that I'm gonna miss the Gumbo Gladiators. I really love gumbo, but on my plate I've got some jambalaya, uh, and I have it because one of the nice things about having a dinner party, as I did a couple of days ago, I prepped for a few days and made like all sorts of food, and there was food to send home with people. It's really fun. I love to have people over. And usually, what happens is I've got so many knickknacks and small things, we kind of fill up on that. And then I send people home. Uh, so, like, I want to feed people, but let's eat in small portions and then, send people home so they can have something the next day to enjoy it or later in the night or whatever. So, what I have on my plate, one of my favorite dishes is a chicken and sausage jambalaya, and uh, yay. So here it is. And this is the Cajun classic. This is very, I did it in a pot, and it gets nice and delicious. Now, this is, um, from 2 days ago. So all the flavors are very marinated. Reheats very easily. Reheats in the microwave. Now, I made such a deal about the puff pastry, the small videos, because I haven't made those in a while, and I wasn't quite sure the method of the recipes, but it turned out fine. Now this is a quick bread recipe. Now this is wonderful. It works really great with a self-rising flour, and three and a half cups of flour, and the yeast and everything. It's a yeast bread, and so it gets really light and fluffy. Let me show you. Um, and you've got good, air pockets where this how it's like a really, really good, uh, soft bread. This is very squishy, and but I proof uh, my bread dough in an oven before I bake the bread. I always put this in the oven, like it's done a couple of rises, and this one was waiting overnight for to be baked. So it was. I knew it was really good. What I did was put it in the loaf pan, baked it, split it in the. Before I baked it, I proofed it, and the reason why I proof it, and that means it goes into the oven not more than 200 degrees, really less than that if you can get it. Ideally, you want it to proof in a warm oven, just enough to kind of sweat it. So I put a pan of hot water beside it and just kind of like let it sit in there for a good half an hour to an hour, whatever, to get a good firm crust on top. And then that allows me to cut a seam into the bread. It's nice and fancy so that the bread rises, but the seam stays in place. It's really good. And so it's really easy at this point to slice kind of thick, and then you can just take it apart in a couple of portions, and it's really delicious. Now, I didn't eat that much the other day because when I have people over, I love to serve them. I love to play host, and I love to fix drinks and pour drinks, and I really can't eat right after I've made a big meal anyway. So that's the great thing about a dinner party like I did, is that I get leftovers for a few days. It was great. And this is warm bread, and it's nice and spongy and soft, and I've got it buttered and everything. It's great. This is a very, very delicious bread. You can take this dough, it's very wet dough. If you wanted to put it in muffin tins, would make great muffins. But, oh my God. That is very delicious. So, the jambalaya was a very easy mix, easy to make also. So now this, I put everything in the pot. I made everything, the vegetables, sausage, chicken, and then poured the rice right into the stock pot. It's really great because those broths, they get mixed right into the rice and flavor the rice all the way through. If you wanted to do something different, though, you could make everything separately, including the rice separate. And then, like, if you felt more comfortable, you could make the rice separate and then assemble all these things together and stir them. And then you could put them in a pot on the stove and that could work, or you could put them into a pan with a nice buttery broth and stir them into a pan. But yeah, I do jambalaya, and I do it a few different ways, but this way I really like, where it's just like in a big pot on the stove. It's great. This you want to be able to see your individual grains of rice. You know, the vegetables that are in here are celery, onion, carrot, bell pepper, garlic, those types of things, you know, all your aromatics. And if you want to, you know, it's a very adjustable recipe. So here's a good chunk of smoked sausage, and that's going to give you a big powerhouse bit of spice because it is kind of a spicy sausage. Jambalaya is one of these things. It's rice with a bunch of stuff in it, you know, and wow. If you've never had it before, or if you're not used to it, it can be very, you know, well, it can be very surprising. You know, like if you're used to a white rice or a Spanish rice or a saffron or something like that. Actually, Spanish rice is kind of similar to this. Spanish rice would incorporate more jalapeno, maybe a little tomato in here or something like that or whatever. But Yeah, so this is very much like um, what what you might think of as something called a jollof bowl out of West Africa. However, you take the protein portions and you chop them up and put them into the rice instead of serving it on the side. You know, that's the main difference. A jollof bowl is like the rice, and then all your um, things are served on top of the rice, you know. All the flavors are here and they are delicious. There's a little bit of carrot down there. It's great. So, um, but why am I talking about this? Hang on. Because I'm bored and I'm having a little meal. Today, earlier today, I should say yesterday, I had one creme brulee, which is one of my favorite desserts to make, which is basically it's a custard made from the egg yolk and heavy cream and sugar and vanilla. So, yeah, that's basically it, you know. Uh, Four ingredients, you know, and it's great. And the secret to that is very smooth mixing when you're doing those. But I had the creme brulee, and then of course the fifth ingredient would be the crunchy sugar on top, where you like put your sugar on top and then you melt it so that it forms a candy, you know. And then yeah, so that's what I had, and then I had some chicken strips. I had some leftover chicken strips throughout the day, but gradually, because these are not keto diets. I'm taking a break from the keto, but I'm still going to maintain a different type of diet, which is portion control, and yay, you know. Um, so uh, I'm excited. I've got 1 week to go, and then I'll be in Florida. So I'm excited. Lots of fun things to get in order. But yay! Forgive my digestion. Wow. Um, you know, in old England, in you know pre-Renaissance era, you would want to hear someone belch aloud at the table, and then everybody would cheer in agreement, and it would be like a great compliment to the chef that made it, because it's like, oh, you know, good digestion, you know. But uh, you know, modern etiquette, you know, you know, kind of ensures that those public displays, you know. Uh, but you know, um, I just I don't know. I love cooking for people. I'm gonna go to Florida, hang around for a few weeks, take my cruise, come back. It'll be time for me to go celebrate my birthday, which I want to do with my friend who lives in Mountain View, Arkansas. Her birthday is around the same time, and so I'm going to try to link up with her. And they live in Mountain View, Arkansas, which is supposedly you know, just the folk music capital, you know, of everything. And how cool is that, right? So and then she does a lot of you know, pottery and beading, just all kind of folky kind of stuff. So that's going to be fun for me to explore, and it sounds like it's going to be right up my alley, you know. And then yeah, that'll be it. Then it'll be time for me to come home and just you know um, just enjoy the memories that I make over those adventures. And the reason why I'm able to do this, one, is because it's a cruise ship, and that is something you can book, and you can make payments for several months, make small portions in advance. So it's not like I have to come up with $1,000 like right now to go take a cruise. I actually can, over the course of nearly a year, pay down on a cruise. Um, and then, of course, I took smaller cruises, but I took them. I'm taking smaller cruises, but I'm taking them consecutively, and it's at a time of year where it's off season, but just before main season. So it's still at that cheap price. And for instance, the very next cruise that books right after mine, uh, double the price. Double the price. That's how much I save by booking off season. You know, so that's. But yeah, just careful finances, but mostly because I'm not a partier. I mean, I enjoy a good concert. I love going out to hear a live band and everything, but I'm careful with my entertainment budget. Fortunately, I get to have an entertainment budget. It's not big, but I knew that I wanted to do this, and so because I'd already been on a cruise. Actually, the first part of this cruise I booked before I took the other one. I was so excited about it. I was took my very first cruise ever with my friend Jay a few months ago, and I was so excited that I just decided to go ahead and book one leaving out of Florida. And the reason why is because I used to live and work in Homestead, Florida. And I literally, what I did was just compulsively just took a bit of unsalted butter off my plate. And I just kind of, that's why I was sucking my thumb, because I had butter on my thumb, butterfingers. So anyway, um, I have terrible table manners. I lick my fingers, everything. Okay, so, um, yeah, because I made a decision a long time ago, um, that the kind of partying that I used to do was not working for me, and that's the drug fueled alcoholic kind of lifestyle kind of thing was not working for me. This you what I- when I when I felt that I should be celebrating, I almost ended up in a blackout and don't remember a lot of it. It was just whatever. And um, I don't know. It became a fight for survival, and then after a while, it became a fight to not survive because I just didn't want to. And it was like, wow, I'll just wait for this to be over. And it'll either be over because my life is over, yay, or something else, But so that's the kind of mentality. That's kind of what happened to my life. And um, that's why this lifestyle of recovery works for me. And most of my friends that I know, they all know that I'm all about recovery, and that abstain from drugs, and that includes the use of alcohol, and now it even includes the use of nicotine. I quit smoking. So, and I'm talking about from my point of view. I certainly don't make judgments on anyone else for what they decide to do. There are a lot of people who can have, a margarita and then not become alcoholic, or whatever. I'm not one of them. Uh, there are a lot of people who can, have the occasional joint, smoke it or something like that. I cannot do that. So when I talk about this stuff, I'm not talking from a point of judgment. I'm talking about for me. I had to make the decisions that. Well, firstly, it really wasn't about the standpoint. It wasn't about, gee, I want to enhance my life. It was more like I wasn't thinking of enhancement. I was thinking of, I just don't want to be miserable and sad, you know? And so, yeah, one day, I woke up and I'd been in a hospital, a mental hospital, and, and had some sort of clarity that, wow, this really is uh, not fun being on this carnival ride of a life anymore, and I want off of it. Ironically, the cruise that I'm going on is Carnival Cruise. So, but yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't really mean to get into a whole like spiel about recovery or anything. But I just wanted to say that the reason why, and maybe everybody has their issues, and maybe issues they're not all about addiction or whatever, but there are ways that maybe somebody might want to improve their life. One of the things that I needed to do at some point was I needed to get healthy. I needed to start being more physical, and I needed to start eating better, smarter. And the reason why, and have a meal like this if I want, with bread and lots of flavor and butter and everything, but not every single day. You know what I mean? Uh, most of the time, really eat healthy, and that way, if I want to enjoy myself and take a break, I can do that. You know, but yeah, but be mindful of this, and not from a place of vanity, but for physical health. And yeah, so, but maybe it's just a matter of if a person looks at their financial budget a little better and you find some place where you can just trim off a little bit here and there and everything, then uh, I think people can afford to like take a break and get away, and go do something, have a little adventure. I think it's very wholesome and healthy to get out of town and go somewhere and do something that you don't do on your everyday, uh, in your everyday life. You know, go rent a cabin at the nearest campgrounds or something like that for a weekend. Or drive out to the country and stay in a B&B. Just do something, a B&B. But my stuttering. Oh my God. Um, just plan ahead, and do it. Um, I make a joke, and when I'm doing food or whatever, I started calling those food sections the impetuous chef, and it's kind of a joke on how I used to do things. With basically, I'd be sitting around, and then I'd think to myself, "Wow, I really want to be over in Dallas right now," and I would just get up and go, you know, or "Wow, I want to be in New Orleans," and I would just get up and go, and not even know how I'm going to get back once I get there, and you know what I mean? It's like I would go, and yeah, that was just it. That was just crazy, to give up my security for a sense of adventure, and now I find that I don't have to choose between personal security and sense of adventure. With consideration and um, moderation, and people can do both. I tell you, it's certainly cheaper to take vacations when I'm not having to buy the drink package. That $120 drink package a day, $120 a day or whatever it is, that's crazy. Mhm. What are some things that you enjoy doing? I enjoy concerts, rock concerts. I also enjoy symphony. I enjoy going to openings. I enjoy looking at people's art. You know, I like to have little bitty adventures in life. Um, I think human beings naturally are explorers, but I think that as far as the sake of any sort of new, I mean, I really think that um, we have mapped out this earth as it is, like we're explorers, but we have no place to explore. That's why we're looking into space, and that's why we're looking under the sea and everything. Um, but most of us are born in our neighborhoods and really don't get out and see much outside of our little towns and everything, and that's fine. But there is that, you know. There's that wanderlust that sets in. I am the kind of person that if I'm stagnant for too long, um, I will be like, oh my God. So um, I had to find a way to satisfy my craving for, and I would say it's a craving for adventure and wanderlust and everything. All it was just an agitation from a sense of boredom of sitting in one place. It was never really about, oh, gee, let me go see an adventure or let me go but uh, my perspective on these things changed. I find adventure in creating a new piece of art. I find adventure in writing a short story or a poem or even journaling about things. Vlogging, this is a sense of adventure. I get into um, thoughts and things, exploring parts of myself. I find it adventuresome to um, cook new foods, or um, you know, check out fashions each season. I love going to a thrift store. I have a buddy, we love to go thrifting and just looking at some vintage fashions and seeing what's out there. I love to hunt and shop on a clothing rack. Um, that kind of, those are the fun little things. I love to take little walks around my town and just check things out. I love to go look at the river. I find going to the riverfront very calming, watching the water, how it moves downstream and the changing of the shape as it goes in the waves coming in, above to the surface and all that. I find all that it's very beautiful and soothing. And it's just thinking about it now is like just has a calming effect. So, um, you know, and those are the types of scenes and sights and sounds that I look forward to experience um, when I'm away from home, when I go on vacation and everything. It used to be when I was much younger, in my 20s or whatever, we'd pile up into a car and we'd go somewhere. And it was, oh, let's go check out the nightlife. Let's go to a bar or whatever. And eventually it became like, oh, wow, another bar, just whatever. It's like, and but how many of those places had I been And I really didn't see any of them because the first thing I did was go to a bar and spend the whole thing inside of a bar, the whole trip inside of a bar, and not seeing any of the local culture, not meeting any of the people, not really having an enriched experience, you know. Um, but today, if I go away, I really like to engage with the local culture, you know. Outside of bars, I want to go and fit into local places and see the local food, and I want to go see the local pop art and the local thrift stores and the local festivals, and just find out about that kind of stuff, um, and do it. From a mind that's unfettered with chemical that so blitz that if I remember any of it, it'll be a miracle because it's through a haze of a blackout or something like that, or a brownout where you just kind of like maybe you remember, you're unsure, whatever, blah blah blah. Maybe your friends tell you about some weird stuff later, and it kind of comes back to you, but yeah, yeah, that's not the life that I live today. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. I have finished the meal, and yeah, I want to wish all of you love and light. God bless. Ciao, Bella.